Thank you so much, sir. We'll check in with you in just a moment. But for our focus today, we're talking about what happened in Paris last week. And police departments in cities all across the country are on very high alert today.
Very high alert. They're upgrading security following these terror attacks in Paris. And now ISIS has made a new threat. So there is a lot going on still. Hannah Daniels has more from New York.
A new ISIS video threatens an attack on Washington, D.C., as well as countries taking part in airstrikes in Syria. Security has already been upgraded across the U.S. At NFL games yesterday, ticket holders faced increased precautions, including bomb-sniffing dogs and bans on backpacks and purses.
I'm glad the security's here.
New York City's police commissioner William Bratton said this morning on MSNBC's Morning Joe that his department is treating the Paris attacks as if they could happen here. He says the department will send officers to France this week to learn what they can, since the attacks featured new elements.
The idea that all of them were equipped with these suicide vests, which are a great concern if you're asking your officers to rush in, which is the tactic here in America now, that responding to the active shooter scenario.
Commissioner Bratton says the NYPD has successfully thwarted 20 attacks since 9/11, including right here in Times Square. He says New York City is the #1 terrorist target in the world.
The terrorist wants to get the biggest bang for the buck possible. So they're not necessarily going to go to extra small places. They want to go to places where people know and recognize.
The Department of Homeland Security says it has detected no direct threats against the U.S. Hannah Daniels for CBS News, New York.
Governor Greg Abbott called for a moment of silence here in Texas, and shortly after that, he made the big news that the state of Texas would not accept any Syrian refugees in the wake of what happened in Paris. He says, frankly, it is too much of a security risk. The Democrats, some Democrats in Texas were quick to respond to that, saying, look, the U.S. has always been a beacon of hope. We are in a position to help other nations. It's what we've always done. So in Texas, the governor, this isn't something that Texas is doing alone. There are
nearly 9, 10 a dozen other
states that have said, look, you can, Obama, you can bring in all the refugees you want, but they're not coming to our state. They're not coming to Texas.
No.
That's what the governor said.
Governor Greg Abbott was very quick to jump on that one. He wasn't the first, but you know, when that was going around, he said no Syrian refugees here. Hey, but very locally, tonight Texas A&M students are hosting a candlelight vigil honoring those killed in the terrorist attacks in Paris. So that's at 7 o'clock tonight on the Academic Plaza on campus. According to university officials, all Texas A&M students and faculty in France are accounted for and safe. We got that news.
And there was one young lady, a student at A&M, who was in the stadium where the soccer game was happening when that explosion, one of the first explosions happened. She's okay, but she has said that it was one of the most terrifying things. She managed to get some video as they were running out. She got some video of that. We'll hopefully have more from her. We'll hear from her in one of our later newscasts. Now, in the midst of all this, the people in Paris are looking for ways to come together as a community and honor the people and the sense of safety that they've lost there in that community.
Absolutely. And the government there had said, you know what, no public gatherings for 5 days. We want everybody to stay inside. Don't come together in big groups. I guess don't make a target for them. But still, a lot of groups have come out and done this. And there was one that was caught on camera. A group of folks came out, hundreds, and surrounded this candlelight vigil in Paris. And then a prank happened, what some people are calling a prank in very poor taste. Fireworks were set off at this gathering. Check out the video, see what happens.
Wow, unbelievable video there. Again, one of the memorials. And what happened in the background, you hear these fireworks that are these firecrackers that are going off, and then people start scattering. There's been other videos that have popped up on the internet showing people going and hiding in restaurants and diving under tables.
They're terrified.
Absolutely. I mean,
they hear this and they don't know, in that state of mind that they're in, why would they assume that was fireworks?
Keep in mind, this is their 9/11.
Yes.
And remember how we were after 9/11 and how afraid and everybody was. And so put yourself in their shoes, and then you got some idiot that goes and sets off fireworks at this memorial. And to create that kind of panic when everybody's in the state of mind that they are,
of course,
is just, I mean, it's ridiculous and sad. It's sad.
It is ridiculous and sad. It's in poor taste. I've seen some comments online from folks who say, "Oh, everybody says they're not going to be scared of terrorists, and then look at them run like this." There is a difference between wanting to take action against these terrorist organizations and saying, we're not going to be scared, and there's a difference between running from fireworks after this has just happened.
Goodness, I mean, I'd run too.
I'd run too. Anybody would. So there is some suggestion that this wasn't the accident or coincidence, and that this was a planned thing. Anyway, I hope it doesn't happen again.
Much more on this topic coming up at 5 and 6 here on News 3. In some local news, this is great news. Terrible accident today, but great news coming out of it. A local tow truck driver being called a hero. Take a look at what happened on Highway 6 in Bryan this morning. You may have been caught in this traffic here.
So this truck was pulling a trailer, somehow rolled over, caught fire. Look at it burning there just after 11 this morning on Highway 6 near Briarcrest. That's in a busy area of town, so a lot of people said they saw this happen.
And we were told by some of those witnesses that there were 3 people inside of the truck when it rolled over. It immediately caught fire. And apparently one of the people who stopped, a man named Jay Watson, he's from Gaston Wrecker and Towing. He pulled his tow truck over, jumped out, and he helped to get the 3 people who were in that truck safely out before it erupted into flames.
And this is so interesting because this happened and apparently a bunch of folks saw it and people wanted us to know. We got a couple of calls to the newsroom and we got a beautiful email from this Jay Watson, a woman who said, that's my husband, and look at this amazing thing that he did. So I think it's inspiring that this happened and that he helped save these people, and then that everybody, wanted him to get this credit. So no word yet on what caused this crash, but the people who were in it only ended up with minor injuries.
Ooh,
amazing.
Because that truck went up fast, too.
It did.
Hey, the holiday season is upon us, and holiday shopping is right around the corner.
Retailers in full swing, but there's been some contention over some ads, some marketing, and some holiday ads. Bloomingdales may have gone too far, according to a lot of people. So a lot of folks are upset about this advertisement you see right here. There's a woman laughing, her head tossed back. She's focused on something over her shoulder. And this man is looking at her, with whatever in his eyes. He isn't smiling, and the caption reads, "Spike your best friend's eggnog when they're not looking." So this ad was part of Bloomingdale's new holiday catalog, inspired, obviously, instant backlash on the internet. Some are connecting it to rape culture and to alcohol's involvement and connection with a lot of sexual assaults.
Nobody in the Bloomingdale's marketing department looked at that and said,
"Hey
this
guys, is a really bad
maybe
idea.
This is a bad idea." No.
This is like when Bud Light put out that
it.
slug line, the perfect drink for removing no from your vocabulary.
Let's be real.
There've got to be some people out there. But
this is my personal opinion. You got a company like Bloomingdale. They know what kind of controversy this is going to start. Come on.
They did, but they did apologize on Twitter. They said, "In reflection of your feedback, the copy we used in our recent catalog was inappropriate and poor taste. Bloomingdale sincerely apologizes for this error in judgment."
All right. So there's that.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go to break, we do have a cute video to show you. A toddler caught singing the Imperial March from Star Wars on a baby monitor. Take a look at this.
Jonathan Liu, a writer for GeekDad.com, said he caught his 2-year-old daughter sing this Imperial March. That's great. And you know that she wasn't showing off for anybody. She wasn't doing it for a camera.
She just woke up from her nap.
And
she started singing it.
And it was in her head.
He said that she is just fixated on this movie every time it comes on, and he could not be a more proud dad.
No.
So.
That's perfect. I love that.
Hey, still to come. I know that a lot of rain out there, and we've got storms that are on the way tonight. So another look at the forecast with Max coming up right after this.